name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So we got a whole bunch of new news goes. Well, that's the thing with news. You get more of it every day, right? We got a whole bunch of new news to go over. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff that I miss. I'm taking Fridays and Saturdays off now because I was sick. Like, I got really sick about a month and a half ago. I was like, genuinely, I'm really trying to take it easier, even though it's like a real wrench, right? So, like, Sunday, I caught up on a bunch of stuff. I did a live stream, but I still got a whole bunch of things. So we're going to repeat a couple of things that we went over on Sunday. But, yeah, there is a lot to talk about, a lot going down, as always, and a lot to take the piss out of. That's really why we're here, because I just think that's the thing you do, right? When there's truly bizarre, weird stuff going down the world, which there is. I mean, yesterday on my live stream, I did the whole thing about the woman freaking out on the plane because of the not real lizard person she said was sitting next to her. So I really didn't know where to go with that because she seemed not crazy, right? She seemed like a normal woman, absolutely terrified, but I may have been swayed slightly because I think she was kind of hot. So, you know, I mean, obviously, she was in the midst of distress, right? But I think she was kind of, I mean, she looked good for, like, getting on a plane. Me when I get on a plane, you know, I'm just kind of like, I'm schlumpy at the best of times, right? But I'm uber schlumpy then, right? But I don't know. I didn't know. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up or go and watch look at my live stream. I think I'm going to clip that out as a video as well. But go and look at it because there was another person freaked out, did the same thing a couple of days later. It's just weird, right? Are there really, you know, shape-shifting lizard people? I mean, I would hate David Icke to be right. I mean, he's a horrible anti-Semite, so that would be bad. But also, shape-shifting lizard people, also bad. But there was a guy who said, I was that guy, is covered in tattoos. It sounded credible. It all sounds credible. Is it a psyop by the CIA and MI5 or whatever, MI6? I don't know, right? That's the trouble. We have no authoritative sources anymore. No authoritative sources about anything. Best you got is me, baby. No, it's all downhill from here. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. I am very grateful for you doing the thing. If you're on YouTube, has been really, like, throttling my channel of late. I've gone down, like, 30 subscribers or something. If you could, if you're subscribed, then make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed there, if you can consider subscribing, that'd be great. It's free, baby. It's free. I really like it when people subscribe on Rumble. Rumble keeps getting bigger and bigger for me. I want to get to 1,000 subs on Rumble, right? That's really my goal. I would love to get to 1,000 subs because I think when I get to 1,000, it'll be easier to get to 5,000 because Rumble, I'm not being throttled, but Rumble, you know, they're good for America, not so great for the rest of the world. I believe they're in the App Store for the Google Store and the the Android Store. That's what I'm thinking of. And so go check out Rumble. It's basically the same as YouTube, right? I was talking to a neighbor about it over Sabbath, and I said, really the thing that YouTube has is that you can go to YouTube. You can type in like weird, Jewish religious music, like a specific song, and they'll find it straight away. You don't get it on Rumble. Listen, in a perfect world, I would have the people at Rumble run YouTube. Oh, would that be perfect? But, you know, sadly, the world is less than perfect, right? If you saw Joe Biden on the beach, you know, you can't really deny it. I mean, again, it's not like he just floated in like a whale and he was on the beach, you know. What can I tell you? I don't know. Listen. If I was Joe Biden's handlers, I would just say, don't go out. Don't let anybody see you, right? Just don't, right? Although, does it really matter? Literally, on camera, he was giving a speech and farted and stopped and said sorry. Don't really. Let's crack. No, let's crack. Well, I don't know. Let's crack the cocaine in the White House. It's just like, I think there was cocaine in the White House a lot, but now there's like officially cocaine in the White House, right? It's not a good thing. Anyway, with that said, I'm the best you got in terms of authoritative sources. That it should come to this. So like, share, subscribe, Rumble, on Twitter, on YouTube. All those things are fantastic. I'll also put my videos on Facebook, but I'm not as diligent about doing that. Fine. Let's start talking about stories. Now, we talked about this story again on my live stream yesterday, but it's an ongoing one, right? And it's I think it's a real Doctor Who-y story. It's about Yasmin Finney. Now, Yasmin Finney, front and center of the recent BBC promotion. Wait, let's pull that up as well. I think that's also somewhat relevant. There we go. We'll go to Twitter, and we go to, what is it, BBC Doctor Who, right? So yeah, look, we see here Yasmin Finney front and center in the latest promotion. Very much, I mean, I thought she was going to be like a background character, right? I was like, fine, whatever, right? This was back last year when, I don't know, I think the tensions between the trans world and the other 98% of the world wasn't quite as bad as it was. Like, look, honestly, here's the deal. If you're a trans person, I wish you no hate, and I really don't know anybody who does. I'm genuinely not, right? Live and let live, baby, right? I don't agree with you that, about your worldview, right? That if you believe that you're a woman, right? In fact, I've just seen pure misogyny aimed at women from the trans world. It's like shockingly, and nobody bats an eyelid. But they're going very, very, very hard into the trans acceptance route. And look, again, if you're trans, may I recommend to you, the best way to get acceptance is not screaming at everybody that we all have to believe what you believe. Now, why am I saying that? Because Yasmin Finney was out yesterday and for this big trans pride parade. And again, like, how much pride does anybody bloody need? It's ridiculous. I don't know. Here, I think this one with Yasmin says it more. Trans rights are human rights. What right do you want? Again, please, if you're somebody who is hate watching this video, explain to me what is the right that you're being denied, right? The right to destroy women's sports? I mean, because that's what it is. I mean, I understand you believe you're a woman if you're a woman, but your body doesn't, right? It's like, it's absolutely destroying females. So it's destroying female spaces. When I say female, I'm talking about women without penises, right? Because, like, sometimes you have women without penises, they don't want to be around people with penises, even if they're women, right? Because here's the thing. We've been very polite, you guys, right? The rest of the world has been very polite to the trans world, right? Nobody wants to be a dick. No one will say no. I mean, but we don't believe you. We don't agree with you. The more you scream, it's a science! Sounds like a flat earther is screaming it to me, right? And that seems to be what's going on. You're screaming and screaming and screaming that my views are invalid because they are in conflict with yours. My views are not to harass you in any way, shape, or form, right? I'm not going to throw you in camps. I just don't think that I don't think you're a woman. I don't think this is healthy. I don't think this will give you a good life. I think this will give you an absolutely awful life. That's my beliefs, okay? I may be wrong, but I'm entitled to my beliefs. And again, are they any more hateful than people like this that when towards Christians? Right? Like, they're way more hateful, right? So maybe we should all adopt one single standard. But that's not good for this Twitter user who is a he/him. It says, if you claim to be a hashtag Doctor Who fan, but are attacking Yasmin Finney for her appearance at Trans Pride. Well, again, here's the thing. Is being trans an identity or a kink, right? It seems to me it's a kink because it's always very highly sexualized, especially in the drag world. But like, it seems to be it's a kink, and what Yasmin is wearing here, it is. I don't think it fits into the realms of public decency, right? And it wouldn't if they were if Yasmin was a biological woman. I don't think it fits in the bounds of public decency. And that's something I've had a problem with for this new production of Doctor Who. I don't like Ncuti Gatwa being stark bollock naked on the cover of Vogue, right? I think it's because I think he's Doctor Who, right? And I don't think this is good for Doctor Who. I don't think this is good for anyone, right? I don't think this is a good or positive messaging for children, that it's normal and healthy to be a woman with a penis, right? No, I think there's a very good chance that you might be mentally ill, right? And again, I'm happy to be wrong. I mean, really, I'm genuinely happy to be wrong. But, doesn't look like I am. I mean, the suicide rate still seems reasonably constantly high with trans people, and it's not because I think the world won't accept them. Again, I don't believe you're a woman, right? If you have a penis. I do not believe that, and please don't go to the silly, like 0.0001% of people that go, but what about intersex people? No. Generally speaking, if you're a bloke wearing a dress, right? If you're a person with a penis wearing a dress, right? You're a bloke. I don't. Yeah, and again, that's my belief. It is in no way hateful, any more hateful than if your belief doesn't. I don't feel I'm being hateful for Christians because I don't believe in the divinity of Jesus, right? Or I don't think I'm being hateful to Muslims because I don't believe in the divinity of Muhammad, right? Because we all have our own personal beliefs in life, right? The problem is when it comes into conflict. So let's say this fad, which I really, truly believe is, well, yeah, I think the current trend of sexualizing children, it comes directly from pedophile political thought, right? The pedophile political thought is separate children from parents. We see that in schools, and if anybody pushes back against it, we had the anti-grooming law in Florida. They called it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. What? Why are you calling all gay people pedophiles? That's weird, right? And they had this movie come out that destroyed Indiana Jones, Sound of Freedom. The left has had a collective meltdown. Saying, no, it's all conspiracy theory. Why would you be anti? Or why would you be pro protecting child sex trafficking? Right. So get rid of God because that takes away from state control. Children are allowed to consent, right? If you consent to puberty blockers, you can consent to surgery. The idea is you can consent to sex, right? This is not me saying this. This is, again, comes to the most, where was it from? Very traditional pedophile political platforms, right? So that's a fact. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Yasmin's a pedophile. I'm not saying anybody there's a pedophile. I'm just saying this is part of a movement to normalize sex to younger children. That's why I think children's heroes need not to be stark bollock naked on the cover of Vogue. And 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been a crazy statement. Maybe 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been a crazy statement. The fact it is, I think, somewhat proves my point. Anyway, so again, what if this is a disingenuous attempt to normalize sexuality to children to make it easier to have sex with them, right? Would the doctor be in favor of that, even if it's a global movement? Would the doctor be in favor of that? I don't know. Probably Jodie Whittaker's because she's a moron. But the other doctors probably not. This is the sort of thing they would stand against, right? So if you claim to be a Doctor Who fan but are attacking Yasmin Finney, am I attacking Yasmin Finney? I don't think she's dressed appropriately, and I'm calling her she because I think that's because I'm being nice. But I don't think they are dressed appropriately to be a prominent role in a TV show, right? Because I think this is a display of kink. Like for example, it's okay that you have a kink. Nobody cares you have a kink. The problem is when you try and say this kink is normal, right? And this kink should be universally accepted, and anybody who fights against it is a bigot. So for example, let's say it went with one of my kinks, and oh boy, I got a lot of them. What to choose from? Let's go for something reasonably vanilla. Let's say if the world went with my kink, you would have two school uniforms for girls, right? If you were in any way not hot or not sexual or prepubescent, you would have a kind of burqa, so you wouldn't be able to see anything. But after puberty, right, and you start looking like a woman, like a young woman, I should say. I think schoolgirl uniforms should have stocking suspenders and high heels with them as short skirts, right? That's what I think. Fishnet stockings, right? That's not a kink. No, that's my identity. And forcing on the whole world. And lots of makeup, kind of porn star makeup. Yeah. I feel that's a reasonable allegory, right? But from 1 to 2. So you're not a Doctor Who fan? Fuck off. Excuse me. Doctor Who. The great thing about Doctor Who is he looks at morality from a has that, what's they called again? Olympian detachment, which is a phrase Tom Baker or Philip Hinchcliffe made up. And they say, oh, I don't really know what that means. But we know what that means, right? A great example of it is Unquiet Dead. Was it the second or was that the second or third episode in the 2005 revival? It was the first. It was Mark Gaddis one, and the first one I felt, oh, we're in Doctor Who territory. I wasn't quite sure about Rose. Right, but like you have the girlfriend, they were animating corpses, right? And whereas like we're going to stop them, and Rox is like, no, let them use the corpses. Now I wouldn't be in favour of that personally, but that was the kind of lateral approach to morality that the Doctor took. Great example was Genesis of the Daleks, probably the greatest example, where he's holding up those two wires saying, do I have the right? Morality isn't black and white. You have the right to destroy the Daleks, right? Well, of course you do. You must do your job, mission for the Time Lords, right? But that's Doctor Who, an intelligent take on morality. This is moron beyond moron, right? So I'm sorry you're a moron. You're not a Doctor Who fan. I think I might be, right? I think I might be. Take the Doctor's name out of your mouth! Doctor, 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 Doctor. Oh, there you go, there. No, take Donna Noble. No, why is Donna Noble's name out of your mouth? Okay. Donna Noble, Donna Noble, Donna Noble, Donna Noble. The TARDIS stars will hit your bigoted ass on the way out. How is it bigoted? Can you just explain this to me? How on earth is it bigoted to say my belief system doesn't match yours? Just the same way you don't believe. I mean, Yasmin probably doesn't believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ, right? I don't believe that women have penises, right? I don't believe that men have periods. I don't believe men have babies, right? I don't believe that. I'm happy for you to believe that. That's not my belief system, and you're forcing your belief system on me. I mean, like, how much more fascist can you get than that? But anyway, so that's the first of the stories that we're looking at today. Let's keep moving on. So this article came out. Okay. Doctor Who's time travel praised by astrophysicists accidentally accurate to science. Maybe it's not accidental, right? Maybe it was intelligent and done right? I mean, but, intelligence in TV is something you see so rarely nowadays. It used to be, Star Trek back in the day, back in the 60s, they said, if we slingshot around the sun, we'll get up to such a velocity, we'll go faster than the speed of light, and we'll be propelled back in time. Right? It was a scientific explanation for time travel. Was it a counter-clock maneuver? I can't remember. Right? Well, we will go back in time. Now, how do they go back in time with Star Trek? Time crystals. Oh, so dumb. It's so dumb. It hurts me. Right? I feel my brain cells exploding, self-destructing, and committing suicide rather than have to process this dumb crap. Though it's fiction, Doctor Who wasn't wrong when it described time a certain way, as astrophysics gives the sci-fi show some extra credit. An astrophysicist, do we have a name? Or is he just an astrophysicist? Okay. An astrophysicist makes a surprise claim about Doctor Who lore, revealing that the long-running show is spot on about one thing surrounding how time works. For almost 60 years, the iconic BBC sci-fi series has taken audiences on adventures in space and time, and now in diversity. That didn't go very well, really, did it? From when humanity first learned to make fire to the final days of planet Earth. Well, that's a good description. Well written, sir. Doctor Who will celebrate its 60th anniversary through a number of specials and other productions in late 2023. Maybe. Listen, there's nothing going on of any interest to me anyway. With Doctor Who's journey to a 60 to the 60s and to the Regency era in season 14. And I hate shooters changing costume every week. I just hate that, right? What was that? This just popped up in front of me. 1 second. There you go. Now I lost this one. One astrophysicist made the surprising claim about the depiction of how time functions during an interview with Reuters. God! Dude, I mean, this is how little Doctor Who news there is out there. They're milking this, right? When discussing how black holes can demonstrate time dilation, University of Sydney astrophysicist Geraint Lewis say the Doctor's discussion of how time functions can be an accurate description, even quoting a line from David Tennant's Doctor. Check out Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey. That's not David Tennant, was it? I don't know. In modern physics, time is a complicated thing. Doctor Who had it right when he best described wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. Well, okay then. And they ripped that off on The Good Place when they called it Jeremy Beremy. This means that we don't really understand time and its limitations, and some things are not ruled out. Time travel, warp drives, the future could be very exciting, though maybe not. Well, gee, this guy is the life of the party. You want to be around him. Okay, so he's saying wibbly wobbly timey wimey is right. Just how accurate to a real world can Doctor Who be? How much longer is this going for? Okay, fine, this is nearly done. I was like, giving up the will to live at this point. Okay, let's go. While Doctor Who first and foremost is a fantasy series about a traveller from a far-off world fighting monsters and exploring human history, it's often done its best to ensure that is somewhat accurate in its science amid the ever-expanding fictional universe. During its early development, co-creator Sidney Newman hoped the Doctor Who would be an educational show. Well, it'd be educational. That would inform younger viewers about history. Through the success of the Daleks, they would see more about the fantastical story. Well, they also talk very clearly about fascism through the Daleks. Despite this certain depiction of famous figures, to this day it's been celebrated, including Vincent van Gogh. Okay. Are you going to say anything? This is just annoying me now. Doctor Who has also found itself making surprise predictions that will become reality. Well, so is The Simpsons. Simpsons, not The Symptoms, The Simpsons. A 2005 long game saw humanity's future being manipulated by news browsers created by the villainous editor and the Jagrafess. Are you talking about the CIA? I don't know. Using fear to prevent human race from progressing. The episode's handling of how news broadcasts are constructed continues to resonate as fears of AI-generated imagery and deepfake technology develop. What about the news, literally lying to you, relentlessly lying to you for years and years and years on end? Do you remember a few years ago they said this inflation was transitory? Oh yeah, just transitory. Oh yeah. Do you remember when they said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation? Oh, the expert said it. Oh, must be true. Really? January 6th? I don't know. How many more things are you going to tell me that you end up with egg all over your face? Well, the doctor says actually can vary. Okay, I can't do any more. No, will you leave me alone? Stop with this nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, let's go to CBR. Always a good place to find nonsense. Doctor Who's next regeneration can finally solve a fourth Doctor mystery. Really? I don't do the Morbius Doctors again, please. Please, just give it up, right? Give it up. The Morbius Doctors was Robert Holmes in a wig. They weren't the Doctor. Just stop. David Tennant's regenerated shooting out was 15 Doctors. I want you to re-examine one of the Doctor's strangest regenerations. What, we're talking about 4 to 5? That's interesting. Doctor is due to return later. David Tennant, 14th Doctor power. The Doctor... however, Tennant isn't back for long. At the end of the 3 upcoming specials, he's due to hand the TARDIS over to new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa. Man, I was so excited for that a year ago. Whoa! Russell, I think you might have pissed it up the wall. I really do. I think you might have pissed it away, mate. Let's have a look. I mean, really, it's like, what's more important? Like, making Doctor Who popular or telling me this is a normal woman? Yeah, I think to Russell was telling me that's a normal... It's not going to work, mate. That's basically the bottom line. Yeah, here's why you're getting pushback. Because the normies have noticed, and they just said, no, stop. Oh, no, they're oppressing me. We're not. We're just saying chicks with dicks are normally blokes, okay? That's just the way it works. It's called science. Don't go, oh, that's not the science. Yes, it is. Well, Gaiman didn't appear in Whittaker's final episode owing to Tennant's surprise reappearance. It wasn't a surprise as the new Doctor. The first teaser trailer for Doctor Who's 6th anniversary featured a fleeting glimpse of Gatwa's incoming 15th Doctor. What the hell is going on here? He's also, you can see in Midsummer Night's Dream, apparently, free online. I'm scared, right? The only acting I saw from him was Romeo and Juliet, and he was shit. He was shit in that. Little was revealed about the single shot Catwoman. Well, nothing, because even the background was a fake thing, apparently. I mean, it's all fake. No, Doctor Who's not real. However, the fact that was featured at all may suggest that Gatwa's Doctor will feature in the storylines of the Spectre. Yes, I agree. I think that's probable. This could open the door for resolving. Okay, what is the mystery? Judy Gatwa's Doctor debut could echo the Watcher. Now that's an interesting idea. That is, I like the Watcher. I like that weird science they had at the end of Tom Baker at the beginning of Peter Davison. What's his name? Was Vidal, not Eric Saywood, go before him. Not Christopher Binamede. Oh, crap. Okay, 1 second. Doctor Who script editors. Let's see if we have a list of them. 33 rows. No, these are the present day ones. It was not Andy. No, well, it was Anthony Root. It must have been Chris and Bidmead, right? Yes, it was very, very sciencey. What we have to do? There it is, back again. So the Watcher, interesting idea. The first teaser trailer for the 6th anniversary specials features one shot of Judy Gatwa in a shirt and tie, worn by David Tennant Doctor, yelling, "Will somebody tell me what the hell is going on here?" I think that it's always been Judy Gatwa's Doctor, and he's wearing a David Tennant skin put on him by the Celestial toy maker or whoever Neil Patrick Harris is playing, right? That'll be my guess, right? That would be my guess. What the hell's going on in the trailer? He's seen standing in front of a cloudy backdrop, but returning Joe Rossi, David confirmed the backdrop was changed in the trailer to avoid a major spoiler. Maybe it's the TARDIS. They need to start wheeling out things from this new era to excite people, because, whoa, God, I hope this TARDIS is as good as they're saying, because it hasn't worked out great so far. It's possible this shot shortly after the 14th Doctor regenerated in the 15th. Again, I don't think it's going to be regeneration. But in the past, Doctor Who trailers have avoided showing any footage of the new Doctor from their regeneration scene. This suggests that we'll just maybe getting a glimpse of Judy Gatwa's Doctor before he officially takes the reins. Yeah, no, I think you're wrong there. What, you think Judy Gatwa's going to be wandering around? Maybe. It seems unlikely. No other Doctors properly appeared before the regeneration, with the exception of Capaldi's brief cameo in Day of the Doctor. Oh, yes! Love those eyebrows. No, sir! All 14, all 13, or however many bloody were. However, Tom Baker's fourth Doctor was visited by a strange apparition that seemed to be connected to his future self. Yeah, no, I really like that. I like the weirdness of that. Shortly before his death, regeneration in Logopolis, the fourth Doctor was visited by a ghostly figure called the Watcher. His purpose was apparently known only to the Doctor. When the Doctor died in battle with the Master, he signaled the Watcher, "It's the end, but it's been prepared for," who approached him, merged with him, triggering his regeneration. I always thought that was like the fifth Doctor had been somehow corporeally generated, because this fourth Doctor had been around for too long, right, to hand over. The Doctor's companions claimed the Watcher was the Doctor all the time, but no further explanation was getting. I'll explain later. Well, that's fair. This thing can be explained can explain what the Watcher was, but why? Why explain it? I think it's wonderful as it is. Like I like that it's opaque enough that you can say there's some things that like human understanding just won't let you grasp. Right? I like that. I think it's a good thing. So should Gatwa's Doctor appear before the 14th Doctor regeneration, it could mean he will play part in the triggering regeneration process, guiding his past selves to a new form. Maybe, but the Watcher didn't look like the fifth Doctor, whereas it seems Gatwa looks like himself. Well, you noticed that, did you? before the regeneration goes. In any case, the Doctor witnessing some form of manifestation of his next incarnation shortly before his death could explain the reason behind the phenomenon, why it happens. So I think there's going to be something we're going to find out, but I don't think it's going to be that. The Fourth Doctor's regeneration has been the only time so far that a figure like the Watcher has appeared to guide the Doctor. Well, we got the Valiant straight, not that long afterwards, right? Which was a projection of the Doctor. I think it was kind of a similar idea. While this added layer of mystery and portentous to the Fourth Doctor's transition into the Fifth, it was odd to watch the Watcher's presence, and his true nature was never fully explained. No, I think that was a good thing. Right, or maybe it was explained. Just you have to be clever to understand it. In a similar manner, as Tennant's last Doctor wasn't ready to face his death, perhaps seeing the future self will before his regeneration would have reassured. No, I disagree. But they can't all be winners, can they? Fine. What's next? Oh yes. So Neil Gaiman's been talking a lot recently. He's got a new season of the show with David Tennant, Good Omens. I don't know, Neil Gaiman just kind of gets on my tits nowadays. Like ever since he insisted on that black woman was Death, and then saying I don't see any difference. Death, if you didn't know, in Sandman was extremely white, like a goth white girl, right? And now it just destroyed the character, right? It destroyed the character, inserted this woman into the character, so Neil Gaiman can feel like he's a good person, right? Because he's probably not a good person. I think that's kind of the answer. Doctor Who showrunner not in Neil Gaiman's future, maybe more writing. Well, that is his job. I hate to tell you. While still open to writing for Doctor Who again, Neil Gaiman made his feelings clear that if he would ever want to be a showrunner. During one of the last times we checked with Neil Gaiman, he was sharing his feelings on the return of Doctor Who on Tumblr account, while keeping the door open to writing more in the future. Gaiman sounded more excited to be in the same position as the rest of us are, right? With when the eagerly awaited. And that's eagerly awaiting what showrunner Rusty Davies and the team had in store for David Tennant and Catherine Tate. Well, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then what the new Doctor, shooting out Millie Gibson. I was up for that too. Now I'm just scared, mate. I am. Of being a fan and viewer. As for having aspirations that higher than just returning to pen an episode or two, let's just say David can scratch Gaiman's names off the list of people who are going to be handing their torch over to, hopefully in the far, far future. I don't know if he's going to be handed... Honestly, the way the cultural current's going, if he is going down this extreme weird trans route, I don't think he'll be handing the keys over to anyone, frankly. I don't ever want to run Doctor Who, says Gaiman in response to a fan wondering if he might be looking for something bigger than that when it comes to a role on the BBC and Disney Plus series. Oh, Disney Plus! It makes it sound so bad. That said, Gaiman once again made sure that he's definitely kept the door open for the possibility of return someday. I love writing the episodes and the stories. I've been stories I've already written. I would love to write another one day when things get quieter. Gaiman added, here, take a look at Gaiman's Tumblr, blah, 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 blah. Fine, you're just telling me what he said. And this is just bump, right? Bump. Let's move over to this. This is a, something facing a similar face to Doctor Who. End of Enders, right? EastEnders future bleak, as Loyals fans swish off over ludicrous plots and woke storylines amid 85 million spend on new set. Yes. Nothing says the BBC that. Look at that. 30 million in 86, 95 or 17, 2005, 14, 2010, 2023, 1 million. Don't tell me, oh, Netflix, streaming service, Netflix. No, you make shit. You make shit that nobody wants to watch, right? You make shit that nobody wants to watch. And that's EastEnders. The closing credits could soon roll on EastEnders, for good on EastEnders, as fans turn off amid bonkers plots and claims it's gone woke. Claims? The BBC scope barely scraping 1 million views compared to 30 million head. Blimey, that's really bad, right? But what's the name killed off? Michelle, whatever. I can't remember. Fine. Soap chief Chris Clenshaw, desperate move to bring super bitch Cindy Bill back from the dead has not sparked the desired upkeep. It's rapidly losing ground to ITV rivals Corrie and Emmerdale, which pull in around $4 million per episode. Still pretty bad. The decision to build a $87 million £1 set in Hertz, funded by license fear, has also come under increasing scrutiny. What, you mean the people at the BBC are morons? Yes. The decline has led to speculation that the soap, which first said in 85, could end. A TV insider said, it's a worrying time for Stenders. Well, a bit worrying for most of us watching it go off an edge. It used to be a show that everyone's talking about, but now it's a precarious position where older viewers are switching off and younger viewers have no interest. Well, again, I think that's what this promo says. Like, look, we all like David Tennant, we all like Donna Noble. The normie world's had enough with the trans stuff. You live and let live. Do you, but stop forcing it in my bloody face. And also, representation, right? I don't want to go wrong. I think Ruth Madeley is probably going to be fine, but it's seemingly clear that she was hired for her wheelchair, right? If she didn't have it wasn't in a wheelchair, she wouldn't get the job, right? That seems to be what it is to me, mate. I'm sorry. Bringing back presumed dead characters is a desperate move, which rarely works, but EastEnders is really out of options. Well, it could just stop being woke. It could just do that. I know. We could be watching its final years. Probably, right? Because once you disconnect from the audience, you've disconnected from the audience, right? Some release revealed Michelle Collins, 61, was reprising role of Cindy 25 years after she apparently died giving birth in prison. Michelle, who made a comeback last month's longtime veteran Adam Wyatt, who plays Ian Bill, admitted they are unsure about the story. How did she survive? I wonder. I said, wait, oh God, this is ridiculous. Well, that's what soaps. I mean, I love the Rosny Davis thing about Nolly, right? The Crossroads thing, about how ridiculous it was getting rid of Noel Gordon, then bringing him back. The soap has also seen big names depart, including Dana Dyer, who's unhappy with the storylines. I couldn't believe it, mate. The actor 45 who played pub boss Mick Carter saw his chirpy character change dramatically and suffering from panic attacks. Yes, because you're a white male, right? And you got to denigrate all white males. I didn't quite know who I was playing anymore. Other bubbly Wolford residents turned into quivering wrecks, including Kim Fox, really? Played by Tameka Epson, and was hit with a PTSD after a crash. Well, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, but 1 million. Okay, the only reason Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who didn't do equally bad, and it did, was because it wasn't on as much, right? People just forgot how awful it was, and they sort of go away. Soap also accused of going woke, with MPs criticising political references, including Sharon Watts likening Brexit to COVID. Cheryl Ferguson, who played Heather Trott, claimed it was not relatable as it was too violent. And again, it's got to reflect the world you're trying to entertain, and it doesn't. Right? It doesn't. Very important, the schedule and back Clenshaw to evolve. Last August, BBC World Charlotte Moore said it remained a very important part of the schedule. Oh, God, yeah, you said that about Doctor Who as well, darling. Oh, go away. Fine. Let's look at non-Doctor Who insanity, shall we, for a bit? Oppenheimer actor Robert Downey Jr. declares men start wars and the entire planet should be a matriarchy. You dumb fuck, okay? You absolute dumb Hollywood cocksucking fuck. Really? We loved you as Iron Man. You couldn't just keep your damn idiot mouth shut? You ever seen Tom Cruise do anything like that? No, that's why I'm going to see Mission Impossible in a couple of days. I'm not going to see your crap. I mean, I might go see Oppenheimer because I'll wait and see what the reviews are, but I'm not rushing to see it. I mean, it's just so dumb. Right? It's such a dumb statement. Men start wars. Really? And women don't do anything. Women are perfect, right? No. Most of the destruction of media that we've seen in the last 10 years is because corporations have needed to hire more women. in leadership roles because they get better ESG scores. And so they elevated people who are completely untalented, and they destroy everything they touch. Look at the advertising executive who did the Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney. Thought she was right about everything. Nope. You know, women often complain in the workplace about not being taken seriously. Maybe because they come up with stupid ideas like, I know, let's make Indiana Jones an old miserable piece of shit, right? That lives a shitty life that no one's happy with, right? And let's make sure we very, very clearly say that anybody voting for Donald Trump is actually a real genuine Nazi, right? These are all stupid ideas by stupid people who shouldn't be there. Kathleen Kennedy being one, right? So I don't know what stupid ideas you'll get. I mean, again, it's so, okay, we shouldn't be having a battle of the sexes, you fucking moron. What's the plus side of that? Again, you absolute cockwomble moron. So Robert Downey Jr., ex-junkie who went to jail, Robert Downey Jr., who plays Lewis Strauss in Christopher Nolan's upcoming Oppenheimer film, recently declared he believes the entire planet should be a matriarchy after filming the movie. Just so dumb, okay? I mean, like, you know, there's a reason why actors act instead of like doing anything useful, right? It's because they're fucking morons, right? I don't need to hear any moronic driveling from somebody who puts on an Iron Man costume occasionally, right? It doesn't make it any better. In recent interview about the upcoming film to Associated Press, the outlet asked, I was curious if you took away any commentary on patriarchy and war. Okay, so Downey Jr., I guess. Why patriarchy? Men started wars and the entire planet should be a matriarchy, but I've never changed my position on that. Really? What about when you're in jail? Right? Did you want to be a matriarchy then? You want to be somebody's bitch there in jail, Robert? When asked if he already had that going into the film, he replied, well, this is just triple confirmation. Please don't go see my movie. That's what this is saying to me. Please don't go see my... Okay. I don't need morons lecturing me. I'm going to go and see Mission Impossible. And I'm going to like that. Robert Downey Jr. says, working on Christopher Nolan's film, he developed about the first nuclear weapons, confirmed his belief the entire planet should be a matriarchy. Well, of course, you know, you could have skipped the whole nuclear weapons thing and just, lost World War II. That would have been fun. Or let the Nazis develop it first. Blithering morons, right? Context is critical. The meaning of the timing of the Manhattan Project, the need for it, the deployment of it, necessary or not, you can read plenty of data that would support either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Japanese would have surrendered without the use of nuclear weapons, right? They were fanatically, they viewed the king as the emperor as their god. Right? I don't think they would have surrendered. And America wanted an unconditional surrender, right? And they were negotiating and they wouldn't do it. So was it warranted? Probably. I hate to tell you, probably it was. But you know what? You're in the midst of war, right? And if it's a war against pure freaking evil, I don't think it's right to go back and second guess, right? I just don't think it's right to do that. So being able to, under Chris Nolan's, but here we are now with the cold hard truth. So being able to, under Chris Nolan's direction, a kind of invite to the audience to be involved in this meditation. It's a kind of we all know the films of the last 50 years that have kind of been important in that way, as well as entertaining, thrilling, and just cool to watch. Well, not the last few years, mate. And I guess that's the transcendent thing about certain films. And I got to be in one. Yeah. Okay, it's arguable whether that we are less safe now than at the height of the Cold War. You're far less safe now. At the height of the Cold War, the Russians knew they were reading bullshit in Pravda, right? No, the Robert Downey Jr.'s of the world think that the New York Times is telling them the truth, right? Think they could in any way trust them. No, you can't, mate. Where are we up to? It's a lot to take in, but okay. Blah, 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 blah. I don't. Back in 2019, he announced a company called the Footprint Coalition, where he aims to clean up the planet with robotics and nanotechnology. How's that going for you then, mate? During the announcement, he described himself as a one-man carbon footprint nightmare colossus. Apparently part of cleaning the planet, convincing people to eat bugs, the Footprint Coalition invested in France farming setup. You know, back in 2020, the company aims to revolutionize food chain. Insect soil. Oh, what the fuck? Just go away. I can't. Robert, mate. Better to keep your mouth shut and have everybody think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. Let's look a bit of indie news. Indiana Jones is a disaster. It's up to what? I think 230 maybe international box office. With Mission Impossible coming out, I don't see that going above 3, right? Which means we're looking at I would say 200 million loss minimally, and then, but to break even, it would have to be about 800 million. And they were predicting this to be $1 billion movie. Karen Allen disappointed about Indiana Jones' Dial of Destiny separating Indy and Marion and killing Mutt. Well, yeah, I don't blame you, right? But here, the main thing wrong with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is that it's not an Indiana Jones movie. It's a Phoebe Waller-Bridge movie, right? And those Indiana Jones movies were perfect 1940s replicas, right? So everything that works in an Indiana Jones movie, you need to it needs to fit to a 1940s Republic serial. Nothing in Dial of Destiny did. It was just dour and miserable, right? The whole thing was. Now, the reason they wanted to get rid of Marion and Catherine wanted Marion out altogether, because that in any way makes Indy look good, right? It gives them a happiness, and she doesn't want him to have happiness because he's an evil white male. Ah! The actress Karen Allen, who plays Marion Underwood in the Indiana Jones franchise, recently shared she was disappointed with many of the plots in Chase Manco's Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. You and the rest of the world, darling. You and the rest of the world. However, Steven Spielberg has been going on tour saying that, we've noticed the bad numbers, but it's nothing to do with the creative decisions of the scripts. Nothing. Nothing at all to do with that. No, it's bad marketing and spoilers. That's all. That's the reason it's completely... No, Stephen, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong, and you're a moron if you believe that. In an interview with Variety, Alan was asked by Adam B. Very, so when you learned that the new script had Indy and Marion separated, like much on the way to the divorce, and Mutt had been killed in Vietnam, what was your reaction? Well, I was disappointed, of course. Well, of course you were. She went on to elaborate, I knew there had been talk that they didn't want to go forward with Shire. So I knew that was there'll be something in the story they had to create the potential for him not to be there in a way that made sense. Just not fun. Just dour and miserable. Right? I didn't know where he was going to die in Vietnam until I read the script. Oh gosh, maybe that was just maybe 6 months before we were going to start shooting. Listen, Karen, they offered you a lot of money. Man, she looks beautiful there. She's so great, by the way, in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, so incredibly great. Again, such an innocent movie. Oh, it's lovely to watch, right? Not sneering at you at all, like Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character. Alan was happy to reveal that Marion got to return in the end of the film. I was deeply happy that Marion came back, at least at the end of the story. If this is indeed truly the last film in this particular group of films, one can only hope. And I don't consider it an indie movie. If this is the last story with Harrison Ford and Indy and me and Marion, I'm profoundly happy that we didn't that it didn't end without them coming back. Right, they didn't repeat the Star Wars thing of not having Luke, Leia, and Han in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. She concluded, this meant a lot to me to feel like they were going to ride off together in the sunset. They didn't feel like they were riding off together in the sunset. And it should have been after they rode off together in the sunset, right? After Kingdom of Crystal Skull, right? And they should be living a good retired life at this point. Oh, so sad. It was so sad what they did to this bloody movie. Alan would also be asked by Hollywood reporter Brian Davids, was it heartbreaking to read what happened to Indy and Marion's family in the intervening years? Well, what's to me? Well, it was. When Stephen was still going to direct the film, I didn't have the opportunity to read the scripts, although I know that Marion was much more involved in the story at that juncture. Stephen and I have spoken after he decided he was going to step down as director, and he said to me, "You're going to love work with Chase Manigault. Yeah, you'll be out in 10 minutes." Oh, great. So I knew they hired James and the new writers, and they were going to do a whole new approach with a new director. Yeah, but I guess Kathleen Kennedy didn't want an Indiana Jones movie, right? She really wanted the Phoebe Waller-Bridge movie. How's that working out for you, Katie, darling? Oh, another diamond decision by you, right? Isn't it? Next thing I knew, I was reading the script and told the Dial of Destiny story, and of course I was disappointed. Again, you and me both, baby. You and me both. I thought that I would be majorly part of the film, and that was not the direction they decided to go in. I think they had some problems to solve with the problem with Shia LaBeouf coming back. And they chose to create a story that might have been killed in the war that put wedge between Indy and Marion. Yes, let's make it more miserable than it needs to be, right? Yeah, I mean, Ken, look at that's okay. The whole Dial of Destiny completely negates the smile. Look at their smiling faces here. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I mean, you could have knocked me over with a feather when I read it. I mean, yeah, because it's a dumb idea, Karen, and you're not insanely stupid like Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, at least you don't appear to be. But I was really happy that they came back together in the end, she concluded, after Phoebe Waller-Bridge saved everyone. Oh, God, I hate that. And again, I like, can this be the end of Phoebe Waller-Bridge? I mean, I think this has really been a Phoebe Waller-Bridge killer. I mean, not literally, career killer. Anna would also share her own headcanon from what Marion was doing while she and Indy were separated. Wasn't given a lot of information in the script, but we know Martin been killed, and we know it drove a wedge between them. But we don't know much else, so I usually sit down and write a little bit of history and think it through. It was just a sense they had not seen each other for a while, and a real sense of them grieving in very different ways, as I know people who do when they lose a child. Again, this is so tonally wrong. I was like, I thought it was coming into the room without really knowing what I was going to find or whether it was right to do. But I think Marion at that point had some decisions herself about whether or not she wanted to end this relationship. Okay, but Alan is not the only one who's disappointed with Lucasfilm treatment of Indy, Marion, and Gary Bueller. Yes, Nerdronic. Not a fan, right? Not a fan at all. I think we're going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'm back live tomorrow, right? Back live tomorrow, and then hopefully I'm off on Wednesday, where I'll be watching, we'll do a pre-record, what I'll be doing, watching Mission Impossible back on Thursday to tell you that hopefully that was fan-frickin-tastic. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin. Please subscribe, Rumble, Twitter, YouTube. I really need your help with that, right? I'm really being throttled. Like, share, subscribe, and have yourselves a frickin' awesome day.